Hello, welcome to Money Mondays, where I talk about all things finance. Today we'll be talking about my budget and making sure that we are still on track with my July budget. But quickly, if you guys don't know who I am, I'm Jenica. I'm a 25-year-old who just got her first career job and is learning how to manage kind of a lot more money than I've ever managed before. All right, quickly before we switch into the other view, I just want to go over exactly what I'm doing today in this Money Mondays. Today we will be looking at my budget as I've mentioned. I set a budget for July, and this Money Mondays, I just want to make sure that we are on track, and if we kind of have to adjust, this is just kind of a weekly check-in for me to make sure that I'm sticking to my goals. And yeah, okay, let's get into the budget. Alrighty, so here is the July budget so far, and while we're here, I'll quickly go over what this spreadsheet kind of is about. I don't think I've ever went over it. But here we can get a quick overview of my spending. 96.3% of my spending so far is in sinking funds, and then expenses is 3.7%. We'll definitely go into that in a bit. And then so far here is my budgeted spent, and then my actual spent, a little bit in MISC or miscellaneous, and then some transport as well. Alrighty, we'll get into all of that in just a second. So first, here is my monthly summary, where I have a kind of summary of my income. Here is where I budgeted how much income I think I'm getting. So I think I'm getting $465-ish. And then so far, I've only gotten $351 in this actual. I budgeted to spend $3,896, and so far I've spent almost $3,000, and it's only been 1 week. So that doesn't look great, but also this spent category is still kind of messed up in terms of the calculations. I don't exactly know how to calculate things yet, because my budgeted spending is going to come from my expenses and my bills and subscriptions. And for some reason, I didn't have it count sinking funds, because sinking funds, it's not something I'm spending every month. For example, these are credit card annual fees, and as what an annual fee sounds like, it's only annual. So I'm not always spending everything. But for example, social is a sinking fund that I might be spending monthly. So I don't know how exactly to budget that, calculate that in the spent category quite yet. And I'm trying to figure out the logic for that, so bear with me. And then sinking fund slash savings is just how much I put away towards sinking fund and savings. Because I count sinking funds kind of savings. So for sinking funds, I've budgeted $1,070 to be put away. And then so far I have 874 actually put away. Alrighty, now let's look at my income. This is what I budgeted during my July reset. And so far I've only gotten this $350 stipend and a $1.09 interest fee or interest payment from one of my bank accounts. So I haven't gotten any of my paychecks yet. And this one, I have not got paid yet for that either. If you guys don't know, this is just kind of a company I help with their social media. And I get a little bit of a commission, so I haven't got paid for this month yet. So that's my income so far. Now let's look at expenses. For expenses, out of my $250 budget, I've spent no groceries quite yet. At work, I get a good $50 credit for lunch, but since I get my lunch out and it's usually a bigger serving size, I'm able to kind of eat it for dinner as well, and that works for like 2 lunches and 2 dinners. We've been having lots of family gatherings, and there has been a lot of kind of food around lately, so I haven't gone grocery shopping quite yet this month. $14 out of $126. I ride public transportation to my commute to work. If you guys are from the Bay Area, you know BART, as well as kind of just bussing around the city in SF. BART is basically just like a subway. Yeah, so far I've only spent $14 to reload my Clipper card, which is the card you use to pay. For miscellaneous, I've budgeted $1,000 for this month, especially because I'm going to Vegas this month and I have a vacation, so I gave myself a high budget for this month. So far, I've only spent $90.56. And let's look at what I spent in this past week. That is $90. All right, so here I spent $21.66 on Amazon for a banana clip, which is in my hair. It's just like a hair clip. And then replacement toothbrush heads for my electric toothbrush, and that came out to $21.66. And then this one, $10 for boba plus PC, which is, let me explain. My cousin works at a boba shop, and she got us very discounted boba, $5 for like 3 boba drinks, which is pretty good. A boba drink could be like $7 now. And we got 3 for $5. And then PC, this same cousin, I had meant to sell her my PC for a really, really good price, and I was gonna even lose a little bit of money just so that she could get a PC. It's my cousin, you know, I don't want to profit off of them, just kind of make some of my money back. But someone else offered like a lot more to where I would make a profit, so I kind of asked her like, hey, is it alright if I sell the PC to someone else? And she's like, yeah, sure, give me like $5 though for breaking our contract, which there wasn't actually a contract, but just as a joke. But I gave her that $5 anyways, so that came out to $10 altogether. And then Mind Body Legree. Mind Body is just the brand or branch of Legree. And if you don't know what Legree is, it's similar to Pilates, and that class was $38. Then I bought a book for $10.99, Love Theoretically, Ali Hazelwood. And then I bought a bunch of travel toiletries for this upcoming trip. Shampoo, conditioner, and deodorant for $9.91. And that is my $90 of miscellaneous spending so far. Right now onto the bills and subscription. I haven't paid any of the bills yet except for iCloud. And that came out to be about $1. All right, now onto sinking funds. So I've budgeted $200 for quite a few things, and then also this as well for this month. And as you saw, I've only made about $350 this month, and yet I already had put some away. It's because I used my June, and that's because I used my June paycheck to kind of get a little bit ahead for July. So any extra money I had in June, I put towards these sinking funds. So I was able to pay off or like put away a lot. So for my boyfriend's gifts, $200, and then regular gifts for everyone else, $200, social, $200, and then my credit card annual fees, $32 and $42 is 54 cents. Nothing. I put $200 away for a car. And then yes, and I haven't spent any of that. But as you can see, the sinking funds is 96% of my spending. I'm going to Vegas this month. I've talked about it, and I had to buy tickets, and that cost $376. And I bought my boyfriend's as well, so that's for 2 people, and he's paying for the hotel. So I think I get the better end of the deal here. But yes, that is that. And then I also spent $2,357.80 for my cruise fund, which this was just my flight and my boyfriend's flight. And I didn't pay for him specifically. We have a kind of joint fund, sinking fund of our travel funds, and I used that to pay this off, and we both contribute a certain amount into it. So I had the money for this, even though there's like no budget for it. I know I'm going to still have to pay for hotels for a couple nights for this cruise, because we're getting there a day early to explore, and then we're leaving the cruise destination a couple days late to explore as well. And then for this extra loan payment, if you guys don't already know, I have a goal of paying $2,000 per month minimum, $2,200 or more when possible, towards extra payment towards my loans on top of the minimum payment to help pay off my debt before the end of this year. And I wasn't able to put anything away quite yet since I didn't get paid, but I did get that bank interest payment, and I put half of that towards my extra loan, so 55 cents, and then the other extra half into taxes, as I mentioned before. Alrighty, and that is what the budget is looking like so far. I think we're doing pretty well. I'm not overspending anywhere really. I think I'm pretty on track for everything other than that sinking fund stuff, but I had money set aside for that already. So I wouldn't say that, you know, I'm over budget on those things. Those are things that I put aside already. I've been saving for these trips kind of over months now, even years, if I could say. So even though the number is a little scary and I don't like it, it's money I have, and it's money I set aside towards travel. So why set aside money for it if I'm not going to use it? So, you know, as I mentioned, scary big number, but it's money I've put away towards it. Might as well use it. Anyways, that's the budget for this week. I hope me sharing kind of how I look at my budget from week to week is helpful to you, or at least entertaining in some way. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys next week.